There is Rassie Erasmus's box squad for the Ireland Test matches in South Africa. Interesting, isn't it? The headlines from this selection, which I'm going to go through on this video, are back three problems. What back three problems? Colby was 50-50, he's in. Arendse made that miraculously quick recovery for the Bulls. And Willy Leroux has been named as well. The Bulls missed out on him, but the Boks don't need to. Other than that, the other headline is experience. And 6 World Cup winners have come back into the squad. There are a few fresh names as well, and a few youngsters and a few newer faces. Lots to talk about. There's some interesting players that have been omitted, miss out, partly just due to the incredible depth of talent in South Africa. And on that note, I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'm going to run you through briefly day one of my trip in South Africa. That is where I am now. I am in my home for the next few days, the lovely a new hotel, Rudaport, which is just up the road from Krugersdorp, which is where Craven Week 2024 is happening. And if you're not familiar with Craven Week, I wasn't until earlier this year when I started planning my trip to South Africa. The best under-18s players from the various provinces come together in 1 week and battle it out. And there's lots of scouts, agents, coaches, and there's a lot of future stars that are out there on the pitch as well. So I've met today Rudy Page. I was only there for about a couple of minutes, and Rudy Page came up and said hello, said, I love the channel. I love Rudy Page's channel. Met Joanne de Jong as well. So if it's good enough for Rudy Page, it should be good enough for you. Hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and leave your comments down below on this box squad. Caught up with Johan Ackerman as well. I've got lots more to talk about on that front, but let's get into the actual substance of this one. Experience in this box squad. Look at the names. Sia Khaleesi's back, Trevor Kane's back, Jasper Wiese is back, Marco van Staden, Cobus Reinach, Lekan Yoam, 6 World Cup winners. A whole lot of experience. What that says to me is that Rassie Erasmus, his mind is not any further than the next couple of weeks and beating Ireland. We've heard Damien Diolende say that this series is going to be a war. Ireland have got the better of South Africa in their recent encounters, 3 wins. They want to defend themselves and, you know, be able to flaunt their world champion status by beating Ireland on home turf in front of a wild crowd. And the Irish fans are going to be travelling brilliantly. I'm going to be taking the channel there as well. Another reason why you need to hit subscribe. There is, though, some fresh blood. Some players will be disappointed. But I'm going to go through, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go through position by position. But the biggest headline to me is win now. Tell me if you disagree. I think this looks like a squad that means Rassie Erasmus wants to win right now. He is not thinking about 2027. He's thinking about 2024. And in previous World Cup cycles, the Boks have been a bit up and down in between World Cups in order to arrive at a World Cup in a position to win it. And that was absolutely the necessity. The 18-month job that Rassie did in the build-up to 2019 was incredible. Blooded loads of players, tried out all sorts of combinations so that he kind of had a feel for what he could use in 2019. And then 2019 to 2023, it was a bit of development in the way that they played. Consequently, Bok fans had to endure some indifferent performances, didn't they? Some ups and downs, the odd game where they'd get beaten where it was a bit disappointing. Now, back-to-back world champions, I think this is where South Africa flex between World Cups. Ireland, you know, for all the disappointment at the Rugby World Cups, Ireland fans have had an amazing time between World Cups, winning Grand Slams consistently, 6 Nations titles, series victories in New Zealand. They'll want to do the same in South Africa. That is what this squad says to me. Win now, be good between World Cups. Is that what you read it as? Let me know. Let's go through this one then, position by position. And I'll start with the props. There you go. 6 props. Oxenche and Gerhard Steenkamp look like the loose head props to me. Franz Mullerber and Vincent Koch, the tight head props. I don't quite know how to assess Thomas du Toit and Trevor Kane. All outstanding props, by the way. And when you think that players like Wilco Low cannot get in, and Stephen Kitsoff is injured and still to come back, it is frightening levels of talent. Thomas du Toit, watched him a lot in the Premiership this year. He has been absolutely outstanding as a tight head prop for Bath, but in the Premiership final he played at loose head prop. with Trevor Niakano there being a tight head prop who can play loose head prop, how do you see that one going? I mean, just an embarrassment of riches in the front row. It'd be interesting to see how that one plays out come test time. As for hooker, 4 of them, two old, 2 new. The 2 World Cup hookers, Mbanambi and Marks. Good to see Mark get some minutes under his belt. Looked rusty, but he'll be better for that game, that hit out against Wales. 2 young guns breathing down his neck in Johan Grobler and Wessels as well. Both of the Bulls. What's interesting is Wessels hasn't played. Jan-Hendrik Wessels has not played since, I think it was April. He played in that quarter-final of the Champions Cup in Northampton when they sent a second team, and he hasn't played for the Bulls since then. I don't know how much of that is down to injury. I think it's that Akker van der Merwe and Grobelaar are both ahead of him, but Rassie has gone with Jan-Hendrik Wessels. A little bit similar to how Andy Farrell for Ireland has gone for Sam Prendergast and not the players that Leinster were picking at fly half, almost saying, I think I might know better than you, Leo Cullen, or maybe in this case, Rassie Erasmus going, I think I might know better than you, Jake White, although I'm not, Akker van der Merwe is a hell of a hooker as well, so I mean, just incredible. I think for what it's worth, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, a little bit younger age profile and massive man, 6'4" and 120 kegs. He's a big old unit. So I think that might be why he's got the nod. Tell me if you disagree. As for locks, 3 of them. And yeah, they're all quite good. What is going on there then? Because only 3 is, I'm reading this as Rassie would rather spend a bit of time with some of the back row players than some of the backup locks, like Salman Murat, for example. He rates some of the back row players more so than he does Murat. So that's what I'm reading it as. And plus, Ben Jason Dixon, come to the back row in a minute, and Pieter-Steph du Toit, if you absolutely had to in a test match, they could slot in at lock. But what do you see as going on there? Because Ruan Norkier might have been a player that was thinking about it, and Ruben van Heerden missed out previously. As for back row, I mean, again, talk about talent. No Cameron Hanekom, that's one of the big headlines. No El Richlo, 2 players that have been outstanding for the Bulls this season. Didn't have a great final, admittedly. Marco van Staden from the Bulls is back, the World Cup winner. Jasper Wiese is back in after suspension. And Buthelezi from the Sharks is in. Khaleesi's back. So I'm kind of breaking that one down as 2 6s, du Toit and Ben Jason Dixon, 2 7s, or sorry, other way around in South Africa, isn't it? 2 6s, Khaleesi and van Staden, 2 7s, du Toit and Dixon, 2 8s, out-and-out 8s, Ruiz and Wiese, and 2 players that can be deployed across the back row and a kind of utility back row players in Buthelezi and Quacker Smith. Is that how you see it? Let me know in the comments down below. So many good players. I mean, the way Cameron Hanekom and Elric Lowe have played this season and to be not needed is frightening levels of talent. Scrum half, I didn't expect to see Cobus Reinach back. I mean, he's been playing for Montpellier, who have been an absolute basket case this season. But again, he's gone back to the World Cup winners, with the exception of Morné van den Berg. I was talking him up on previous videos. I really like the look of this guy. So explosive, so fast. And the speed in those 4 scrum halves is frightening. And speed is scary. And there's a lot of it there. So if Cobus Reinach doesn't get up to the level required, if Faf de Klerk dips, there's a couple of guys there waiting in the wings. And both Morné van den Berg and Grant Williams both have utility ability as well. As for fly half, Hondre Pollard's back, Marnie Libok's in, and Feinberg and Gomazulu. I've put a little star next to his name because he's a utility back. He can be deployed in various positions. That is a concern. I think he's a 10 long term, and it could be that he jumps over Libok, maybe with the Stormers and with the national team in due course. He looks like potentially a generational talent, and it's going to be an interesting battle with the Stormers and the national team, because Feinberg and Gomazulu, because he can slot in different positions, he might be the perfect number 23 in a team, and if Pollard starts, that might mean Libok's out. But I mean, Libok and Pollard, different ways to play, different options, both outstanding players, and you've got an absolute superstar in the making backing them up. It's not fair. How many good players they've got. Into the centre then, and it is the 4 double World Cup winning centres. Why not? They're all amazing. I did meet today at Craven Week. I did meet a former student of Monument School, Henko van Veek, who I've been talking up on the channel. He looks to me like the next Bok in the midfield. And I was stood next to him, shook his hand. Good, strong handshake. You can see he's a powerful guy. You can see that when you watch him play. Not huge, but man alive is he powerful. And I'm very excited to see him back and fit. He had a leg brace on. Still a little bit of rehab to go, but he says hopefully for the start of next season. So watch out for Henko van Veek. In the meantime, why not have 4 double World Cup winning centres? For wings, you've got Edwil van der Merwe, absolutely deserving his spot alongside those other 3 legends of South African rugby, with the fullback spots being Willie Leroux, the genius that the Bulls so sorely missed. South Africa do not have to miss him, and Apaleli Fassi as the fullback options. On the whole, what do you think? What do you make of the squad? Do you think the assessment of mine is correct, that this is a side to win now against Ireland? And if you are a Bok fan, is it important to you to be really good in rugby championships in these, I was going to say summer, but of course it's not summer in the Southern Hemisphere, the July test windows? Is that really, really important, as well as every 4 years defending your crown? I'll be interested to know. Leave your comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Really appreciate. I'm loving my time in South Africa so far, I have to say. And here is a little taste of day 1. Okay, already I am starting to learn why South Africa are 4-time world champions and back-to-back champions, because this is the engine at the base of the pyramid that is driving the Boks to those heights. This is unreal. I'm in South Africa, landed in Johannesburg this morning, and I've made my way to Krugersdorp and her school monument, Monash School, one of the proud, traditional, historic rugby schools in South Africa, which is playing host to the 2024 Craven Week, named after the legendary South African coach Danie Craven, as a celebration of players of this age, the provinces all turning out. Currently this is a big game, and oh my goodness me, the quality and quantity of players and size of players as well is incredible. Currently watching the Bulls against the Lions, so a bit of a local derby, and the Lions have got quite a few Monash boys in their team, so it's got the local support. And just talking about the support, there is nothing like this anywhere certainly in the UK. I don't believe there's anything like this in the world. Amazing players. Watching this game, I'm gonna have to get the name. Just as I was walking around watching, the Lions number 4, the lock, an absolute beast. And the hooker as well. I think he's the captain for the Lions. Just took a carry in then. I'm going to have to get the names, because those are the 2 guys for me so far that have stood out. But there are so many quality players, and this is just something else. I could not be starting the trip to South Africa in better fashion. This is just awesome. Apparently Rassie Erasmus is going to be here at some point this week, possibly on Thursday. And the way it works is it's not strictly a competition where, you know, winner progresses, but there will be the 2 best teams, which will probably be the ones that win the matches through the week, will play in a grand final on Saturday. But look behind me, it's on the big screen. This is being broadcast live on SuperSport on TV in South Africa right now. It's got TMOs. We've just had a TMO decision a few minutes ago. There's assistant referees, there's sound system, PA system.
Heading 3 points to the Lions, taking him to 24.
And there are thousands of people here watching. This is unreal. And it's only early days. In Craven Week, the finals day is on Saturday. And yeah, so I'll have loads of action. I'm going to get some schools rugby in while I'm here as well. Hopefully Affys against Maritzburg, a really historic schools clash. And that'll be down towards Durban ahead of that second test. But of course the Ireland-South Africa test matches are what this trip is all about, as well as sampling the wonderful country of South Africa for the very first time, which so far has made me feel very, very welcome. Very much a home away from home. Hopefully you'll make this channel one of your regular homes on YouTube by hitting subscribe. See you on the next one.